Hello, my friends. This is Lindy. Welcome to my channel, Lindy's Magpie Reads. I have had dickens of a time trying to narrow down which are my favorite books that I read in 2022. But I took inspiration from Ryan of San Jose. He was on Sean the Book Maniac's channel recently, and he used a grid of 9 titles just because it made it easy to display, and I thought, okay, I'm going to go with 9, but 9 nonfiction and 9 plus for my fiction video. So this video is strictly my favorite nonfiction. I am going to start with an all-ages picture book, Unspeakable: The Tulsa Race Massacre. It is by an African-American creative duo, Carole Boston Weatherford and Floyd Cooper. Weatherford is a poet, and Cooper was an artist who died last year. The book is about one of the worst racial violence incidents in American history. It happened in 1921 in Oklahoma. Other books have been written about this. This one I highly recommend. The picture book format makes it apparent that it's suitable for children, probably grade 3 and up. Also excellent for all ages up to including adults. Next up is a fantastic collection of poetry. Actually came out in 2020. In this list today, these are books that I read in 2022, not necessarily published in 2022. The Gospel of Breaking is by Jillian Christmas, who is a queer Afro-Caribbean Canadian educator and activist. I cannot recommend this highly enough. Loved it. Read it several times. Next up, my favorite cookbook of 2022 is the Korean Vegan Cookbook. It's by Korean-American Joanne Lee Molinaro. One of the things I loved about this is all of her storytelling about her family history, the immigrant experience, as well as the beautiful photographs and, of course, plant-based interpretations of traditional Korean foods and some modern takes with Korean flavors for things like chocolate cake. Next up is a collection of personal essays. Run Towards the Danger: Confrontations with the Body of Memory, and it's by Sarah Polley, a Canadian actor, screenwriter, and director. And with each one of these essays, I had to take a break. So emotionally effective. She writes about things like her experience as a child actor, extreme stage fright, having a concussion, and being sexually assaulted by Jan Gomeshi. Next up, best use of audio format, and it's the book Heartbreak: A Personal and Scientific Journey by the American science journalist Florence Williams. It's podcast-like. She includes clips from her audio journal, recorded interviews. It's the science of what happens in our body when we are experiencing heartbreak, as well as her personal story of her longtime husband leaving her. Next up, my favorite queer memoir, 10 Steps to Nanette by Hannah Gadsby. I listened to this one in audio. It is read by the author. She's Tasmanian, queer, autistic, and her life is fascinating. She incorporated all of this into her blockbuster comedy performance, Nanette, which totally confounds expectations of what comedy is. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Next up, I could call this the most thought-provoking nonfiction that I listened to in 2022. It's got a long title: Border and Rule, Global Migration, Capitalism, and the Rise of Racist Nationalism. It's by the South Asian Canadian activist Harsha Walia. Audiobook is read by Cindy Kay. The subtitle pretty much tells you what it's about. The global overview of social justice, the way that national border policies displace, criminalize, and exploit migrants and refugees I just found it entirely eye-opening. It was like puzzle pieces falling into place for me. I do have a runner-up in this category, and that's the audiobook People Love Dead Jews by Dara. Number 8 is the best nonfiction in comics format. It is called Ducks, 2 Years in the Oil Sands by Kate Beaton, who's a Canadian cartoonist. In this, it's a memoir. She writes of her time spent working in Fort McMurray, doing resource extraction in order to pay off student loans. It is such a nuanced portrayal of working life in a place where men outnumber women by 50 to 1, and the same men who are sexually harassing her are also her friends. The camaraderie, the mental strain of working in such a bleak, remote work environment, so far from loved ones, it just really, really comes through. It's absolutely magnificent graphic nonfiction. And last up, this is my absolute favorite nonfiction of 2022, Spring Cannot Be Cancelled. David Hockney in Normandy with Martin Gayford. David Hockney is a gay British artist who's in his mid-80s, and Martin Gaylord is a British art historian. So there are conversations between the two of them. It is set during the COVID-19 pandemic, and Hockney's passion for creating art I found so inspiring. How to live through a pandemic applies pretty much to how to live through any other time in our life. And the book itself is absolutely gorgeous, full of Hockney's work and the work of other artists, all in full color. It's a balm for the spirit. So those are my 9 top nonfiction books of 2022. Tell me if you've read any of these, and if you have, what you think of them. Do you have favorites that you want to tell me about? I'd love to hear about it. Comments down below. And thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the fiction version of this video coming up soon. Bye for now.